A stranger in the grocery store looked at me and said, "Babe, who's watching the kids? I'm a virgin." Every thought in my head evaporated. "I don't know you," I said, already stepping backward. She laughed, like I'd told a joke. Very funny. "Seriously though, did you leave the kids with your mom again? You know she lets them eat ice cream for breakfast." "I have never been anyone's husband. The closest I've come to fatherhood is keeping a cactus alive for 6 months before it shriveled up and died." "Ma'am, I'm not your husband. I've never seen you before in my life." Her smile flickered, but didn't drop. Okay, the joke's getting old now. Then she started rifling through my cart like she owned it. I looked around desperately, hoping someone would notice I was being claimed by a complete stranger. But an older woman nearby just smiled at us like we were the cutest couple she'd ever seen. I tried to push my cart away, but the woman followed me, matching my pace perfectly. Ignoring me isn't funny. We talked about this in therapy last week. I walked faster. She caught up. I turned down the frozen food section. She turned down so in sync her cart hit my heel. I was being stalked by someone else's wife and nobody seemed concerned. Other shoppers were starting to stare, but not at her, at me. One guy actually shook his head like I was the worst husband he'd ever witnessed. A mom with 3 kids gave me the most disappointed look I've received since I told my grandmother I stopped going to church. "Sir," the disappointed mom said directly to me, "just help your wife with the groceries." I wanted to scream that this woman was a complete stranger who had latched onto me like a barnacle, but the disappointed mom had walked away, and the crazy lady was loading frozen pizzas into my cart and asking if I remembered to pay the electric bill. By the time I reached checkout, I had somehow acquired her entire grocery list mixed with mine. The cashier scanned everything while this woman stood there expectantly, arms crossed. "Well," she said, "I paid $400 for groceries I didn't want, belonging to a family I've never met, because apparently my spine is made of wet spaghetti, and I'd rather go broke than cause a scene." I shoved her bags into her cart and practically sprinted to the parking lot, fumbling for my keys. She was right behind me, still talking about picking up the kids by 3 for their soccer practice. I stopped at my car and unlocked the door. She stopped too, stared at it, then stared at me. "Wait," she said slowly, "this isn't your car. You drive a truck." I watched the realization crawl across her face. I was already throwing myself into the driver's seat. I started the engine, but she knocked on my window, frantic now. Against every survival instinct, I cracked it open. "Please wait," she said, voice shaking. She held up her phone, showing me a photo of a man. My heart stopped. He looked exactly like me. Same nose, same jawline, same ears that stick out slightly too much. "That's my husband," she whispered. "Who are you?" I couldn't answer because I genuinely didn't know anymore. She called her husband right there in the parking lot, speakerphone on, voice trembling as she explained she'd just harassed his identical stranger for almost an hour. He asked for my number. I gave it to him out of pure curiosity. He called me that night and we agreed to meet. 3 days later, I met him at a coffee shop. It was like looking into a mirror with a better haircut. We talked for 2 hours, comparing birthdays, childhood photos, everything. He invited me to meet his parents that weekend. "They need to see this," he said. "They need to explain." I should have said no. Instead, I found myself standing on their doorstep Saturday afternoon. His mom opened the door, and I think she died on the spot, at least internally. Then she grabbed the door frame like she might collapse. "Hi, Mom," the guy said behind me. "This is the guy from the grocery store. Looks familiar, right?" She couldn't speak. His dad appeared in the hallway, saw me, and dropped the glass he was holding. It shattered on the hardwood floor. Nobody moved to clean it up. "Who is this?" his dad asked, but his voice was shaking like he already knew. "That's what we're here to find out," I said. We sat in the living room. Family photos covered every wall. My face was in all of them except it wasn't me. It was him. His mom kept staring at me, then looking away, then staring again. Finally, the guy broke the silence. "You obviously know something we don't." "Explain." His dad put his head in his hands, and his mom looked at me with tears streaming down her face. "You had asthma," she whispered. "Severe. You were hospitalized twice before you turned 1. The medical bills were destroying us. We couldn't afford treatment for you and provide for your brother." I laughed. "So you kept a healthy one," I said. His dad, my dad, finally spoke, voice cracking. "It was an impossible choice. We thought you'd have a better life with a family who could afford your care." I looked around at their nice house, the leather couch, the big TV, the vacation photos on the mantle. "Looks like finances worked out eventually," I said. My twin stood up slowly. "I can't believe you did this. That you kept me because I was convenient and threw my brother away because he wasn't." He walked toward the door. I followed. His dad called after us, voice desperate. "Son, please, we can talk about this. We can work through this as a family." My twin turned around one last time. "He's my family now. Don't contact me again." We left together. We grab coffee every week now.